In this video, I'm going to show you how to calculate the future value of a problem involving compound interest. So we're going to use the future value formula with compound interest, which is this. It's slightly different from the simple interest one. This problem says Matt has invested a $23,000 inheritance in an account that earns 13.6% interest, compounded semi-annually. I want to remind you that this means the interest is calculated every 6 months or twice in a year. This interest rate is fixed for 10 years. That means it's not going to change for these 10 years. Matt plans to use the money for a down payment on a house in 5 to 10 years. So the first question we're being asked is, what is the future value of the investment after 5 years? So we're going to use this formula, which is the formula for calculating future value of compound interest problem. We need to know the principal, which is given, it's $23,000. And we need to know the interest, but this interest is different in that it is the interest for every compounding period. So this 13.6% is actually an annual interest. So the interest, though, is being calculated twice a year. So we need to divide this by 2, which gives us 6.8%. And what this says is that at the end of the first 6 months, he'll earn 6.8% interest. And then at the end of the second 6 months, which would be the end of the year, he would earn another 6.8%, which in total for the year would be 13.6%. So when we express this as a decimal, we get 0.068. N represents the number of compounding periods. So we're looking at this investment after 5 years. So in 5 years, since the interest is going to be calculated twice a year over these 5 years, the total number of compounding periods will be 10. So if we substitute this information into our formula, 23,000 as the principal, and the interest rate as 0.068, and then N, the number of compounding periods being 10, we can calculate this in our calculators, and you would get that Matt would have $44,405.87 at the end of the 5 years. Now, the benefit of compound interest is that Matt's actually going to get his interest calculated at the end of 6 months here. And then that interest is going to start earning interest immediately after those 6 months. So that's compounded semi-annually is a little bit better than having it compounded annually, because you start getting your interest on your interest much earlier. In B, what is the future value of the investment after 10 years? So not much should change here. The principal will be the same. The interest rate is still going to be the same because it's still calculated semi-annually. The only difference will be that the number of compounding periods is going to change because this is over 10 years now. And again, it's still twice a year, so the total number of compounding periods is going to be 20. So when we substitute this information into our compound interest formula, you should get, with an exponent of 20, you should get that Matt actually earns $85,733.96. Now again, the reason this isn't just double this number, even though it's 10 years later, is because his interest is earning interest again in these 5 years. So this is the benefit of compound interest.